80th anniversary of the Philadelphia Inquirer comes at a time when newspapers all over the country are struggling.
No one knows that better than Philadelphia's newspaper publisher, Brian Tierney. He's here with us this morning. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Glad to be here.
And congratulations.
Thank you. 180 years.
180
Third oldest
years.
newspaper in America.
We're going to talk about all the different commemorative activities you have going on. Neat paper insert there this morning. We're going to get to that. But first, I have to ask you, let's talk about the state of the papers. We're going to get specific. But first, we're, lenders, I was just asking you, say they're owed about $300 million.
Right.
We've got so many different hearings coming up. How do you see this playing out within?
Well, you know what? Our local investor group, which is as diverse as the region, men, women, black, white, step forward. We're the largest locally owned newspaper in the country. And as Bruce Toll said, nothing that we purchased in 2006 looks like a good buy now. What's great about this group is they've committed, they love this region, we're not corporately owned, and they're willing to put more money into it. And I'm very hopeful that as we restructure, it's funny, the company itself made $36 million last year. We're 9%, we're one of the most profitable newspapers percentage-wise in the country because we've been working with our unions well. We just have too much debt. We could have made $60 million by just slashing the newsroom, which we didn't want to do, which is why it's still a great paper. And so we're going through this process and we look forward to getting through it. But the commitment's there. This paper's been through civil wars, recessions, depressions, world wars, and we'll get through this too.
We're going to bring Steve Keeley in, and while we do that, I want to ask you, you see other newspapers around the country, it happened in Seattle and Denver, where they let go a lot of the staff, they become internet only. Do you see this continuing with newspapers, and then how do you avoid that?
No, you know what, it's interesting. In Seattle, they let go, they went internet only, but they had to get rid of 85% of the journalists. I mean, Politico.com is a terrific website. They're making all of their money off of a free 3-day-a-week printed newspaper. We generate $300 million in advertising in the printed thing, about 25 or 30 million online. So if we just went all online, we wouldn't be able to have the journalists, and we wouldn't be what we are. Plus, there's a lot of people. You know, last year we had $100 million just in circulation revenue. So you wouldn't want to walk from that. Do we need to be relevant to all those audiences? Absolutely. We've invested online. Philly.com's traffic is 64 million page views. It's up 400%. So we show we can deliver an audience there. But I think for the next at least 20 years, our pressmen will be printing it, our drivers will be delivering it, and all of us will be enjoying it as she was talking about.
Let's go to Steve Keeley, because you brought up a good point. Steve brought it up earlier, that a lot of people, though, will go online and read the paper for free, as opposed to paying. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, let me admit, I first have a bias in this as a fellow Irish Catholic, conservative-leaning kid from a hardscrabble Philly neighborhood.
I'm half Italian.
I'm a big fan of Brian Tierney. I love the fact that he got local people to buy the local paper. My first job was delivering the Philadelphia Inquirer before school at age 10. St. Joan of Arc, by the way, Brian. That being said, Brian, we're both in the news business now, so let's make a little news here. Is Philly.com going to be free still by the end of this year?
I think by the end of this year, we'll do what a lot of newspapers are looking at doing and charging something for it. We can't spend $53 million on newsroom costs and give it away on the back door in terms of things. So there'll be a small charge for that. You know, today, for instance, or let me just say yesterday, Sunday, 1.6 million people physically picked up the Inquirer, another million went online. So we're going to have to charge you something for that, and I think we have the value there that people will be willing to pay.
So do you have a tentative target date when you're going to start charging for Philly.com?
By the end of the year is what we're looking at.
The other question I have, there was a lot of people calling a secret meeting in Chicago at the end of last week with executives from the top 24 newspapers. Were you at that meeting in Chicago?
I was at that secret meeting. It's kind of funny to call it a secret meeting because we, one of the things that was, there was a sign at the door that said Newspaper Association meeting, and in the lobby of the O'Hare Hilton it said, you know, newspaper meeting that way. So I'm not sure how secret it was. But about 20-some newspaper publishers got together, and we talked about not pricing or anything like that. There were lawyers in the room and all that for antitrust purposes, but just the technology you would need to do it, things like that.
Are you going to sue Google and Yahoo because they take your content for free and take it and put it on their websites?
We're going to have to find a way. You know, Google pays a little bit through to the Associated Press, and that's part of what but we need to get more. I mean, I pay almost, I pay what I understand about a third of what I pay is, Google pays about $6 million, $7 million. We pay about $2.2 million to the AP, and we own a piece of it. So we need to get Google paying more.
Well, maybe if the people at 400 North Broad are watching, like I know they do every morning, maybe the new headline in a couple of minutes will be Philly.com, stop being free by the end of 2009.
I got to tell you, when I walk in through the Daily News and out through the Inquirer, and I see Fox 29 on when I walk through the newsroom, that's for sure.
Good.
All right. Before you go, we want to talk about the special edition here and all you're doing to celebrate 180 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a great history, third oldest newspaper. And so today we have all kinds of celebrations with our employees, but yesterday we had that special supplement in the paper, which was great, 62 pages, and it was wonderful. And today we have a special masthead, and we've actually duplicated the entire newspaper, the entire Inquirer, the very first one. It was called the Pennsylvania Inquirer back then. And you can see it was the Pennsylvania Inquirer, 1829, June 1. They said they were going to fight for the average person in America, I mean, in this region, and we've done that for 180 years. So you can see everything in here, the ads, front page ads. That was controversial when we did it 2 years ago, but they had them right there. But anyway, you're going to see all kinds of different things, local news, and it's fun to see things from, for instance, the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts is advertising, other things like that. They're still in business. We're advertisers from day one, so we're very proud of that, too.
Well, we're all in this journalism business, and we all know that things are changing, but it sounds not surprising to us. But you're certainly optimistic that we're not going to lose our paper. I think at the end of the day, that's what people are concerned about. Are we going to lose? You know, people want to hold the paper, drink their coffee. You know, you want to have it in your hand.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to lose the paper. What's at risk, though, if our local group isn't successful, is there's a chance that you could have somebody owning the paper, and it becomes like a lot of other newspapers in America, where the newsrooms have been slashed. And they're not very good papers. I mean, I was talking to somebody with the New York Times, a very senior person there, who said, when I come down to visit relatives in Philadelphia, it's a great paper. It's better than it was 3 years ago, compared to a lot of papers that have made horrible cuts, and I mean, they're trying to do what they can to survive, but they're rotten papers, and we don't want it to be a bad paper. We want it to continue to be a great paper.
No, we know a lot of those guys. You've got a good team. Brian, Tierney, publisher, thank you so much for coming in and shedding some light on this for us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sticking around for another 180 years.
180 years.
Yeah.
I don't look a day over 52.
No,
Anyway,
a long road ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a long road.
Yeah.